Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica and today's video is going to be an in-depth beginner's guide to everyday makeup. I know I'm really late to this, but I recently started watching True Beauty and there's this scene where the protagonist tries makeup for the first time and she shows up to school looking like this. It reminded me a lot of when I first started wearing makeup, and even though I would follow tutorials, I didn't have the basics down. So my brows were too dark, I didn't know which blush tone suited me, the application was just not right. So today I wanted to do a comprehensive everything you need to know video so you can find a flattering everyday makeup look for your face. But first, if you're new to makeup, a really helpful app to have is Flip. Flip is a new beauty app that I'm partnering with today, and they're like the ultimate one-stop beauty shop. You can scroll through Flip to find honest TikTok style reviews, discover or stock up on products, or get makeup inspo and tips from Flip's supportive community. I personally love using Flip when I'm considering buying a specific product. Like recently, I really wanted to try the I Do Care lip oil. So here you can see it's really easy to search up I Do Care and see the reviews. And every review on Flip is verified, by the way. Like you can see it's a real person reviewing it, so you don't have to worry about fake bots. Another really cool thing is Flip rewards you for just interacting with the app. So you can see up here, when I scroll through reviews, the dollar amount is going up. So just by scrolling, shopping, voting, and posting reviews, you can make money and earn rewards or even get free products at checkout. You can also see I automatically saved $19 for just ordering through the app, and I got my order the next day. Flip has free same-day shipping, easy returns, white glove customer service, and a rewards program that saves you up to 30% off on every order. Download Flip for free at the link down below, and let's get into the video. If your skin isn't well moisturized before you start with foundation, it won't look as smooth, especially if you have dry skin like me. I like to use serum to moisturize my skin right before makeup application. Serums usually leave a tacky base for your makeup, and they're quick absorbing so you don't have to wait. I actually use this as a replacement for primer. Primers are meant to prep your skin for makeup, and some have specific functions like skin blurring or pore filling. If you use primer, you have to check whether it's silicone or water-based, and make sure the foundation you use matches that. You can check this by checking the ingredient list, and if you see where it's ending in these, listed in the first few ingredients, then the primer is silicone-based. Otherwise, it's water-based. If you use a water-based primer with a silicone-based foundation, or vice versa, this product separation and pilling will happen. For lip prep, I'm using the I Do Care Glow Easy Nourishing Vitamin C Lip Oil. This lip oil has raspberry seed oil in it, which is rich in antioxidants and softens the lips. It darkens to a really pretty berry pink, which can become a brighter pink if you layer it. I have really dry lips, and I found that this works as a really good lip mask while I do the rest of my makeup. So I'm gonna let this sit like a lip mask while we do our base. Pump foundation onto the back of your hand and swipe it onto your face like this before blending. This ensures you get even coverage over your entire face. Remember to check whether the foundation is water-based or silicone-based if you use a primer, and it's also just really good to check before you buy a foundation because water-based foundations are better for dry skin and silicone-based foundations are better for oily skin. I wouldn't recommend using a brush to blend in your foundation for beginners because it's really easy to make the mistake of not blending fully and leaving behind brush strokes. A beauty sponge will perfectly blend everything in. Concealers are thicker, more full coverage versions of foundation. They're meant to target certain areas of your face that the foundation didn't cover completely, like dark circles and blemishes. You should use a concealer that's very close in color to your foundation. You could also use a concealer that's lighter than your foundation to brighten some areas of your face, but don't use those for blemishes since they'll create a spotlight effect around the blemish. Because concealer is thicker, you want to use very little. If you use too much, it'll emphasize texture and cause creasing. Powder has a blurring effect and prevents the liquid base from transferring so nothing smudges under your hands when you touch your face. Once you set your face with powder, the liquid products won't move, so make sure to blend out any creasing beforehand. Dip a brush into the powder and sweep it back and forth against the holes in the packaging to ensure there are no clumps. See how the evenly coated brush softly blurs the foundation versus the clumpy powder which leaves behind patches? Pat it in and swipe it under the eyes. This is the best way to get smooth under eyes if you deal with a lot of creasing. And then set any areas that get oily or would come into contact with something else so you don't leave a stamp of foundation on anything. Next, for contour, you want to make sure that you're using a shade that looks cool toned on you. A lot of beginners will mistakenly use a bronzer as a contour shade. Unless you have really warm undertones, you're going to want to use something more cool toned so it looks more like a realistic shadow, because shadows in real life, they don't usually look like brownish red. So in the past, I would make the mistake of doing a 3 shape here, which is just the standard that everybody knew, like that's what was taught by all the makeup artists. But you want your contour to enhance your natural features. Don't follow what other people are doing to contour their face. Everybody's face shape is different, and what looks good on other people might not look good on you. This step is gonna look different for everybody, but for beginners, I don't think you can go wrong with just a simple jawline contour. Blush can be used to add color back into your face, and it also contours your face depending on placement. So in the beginning, you saw me apply it here, right? And this is where people used to tell you to apply it. But you see, if you apply it here, it can really drag your face down. It's not very flattering in my opinion. What I do now is I apply it right on top of my cheekbones. When I first started with makeup, I didn't think blush was an essential, but now it's a part of my routine that I cannot skip. It makes a huge difference. You can see after we added the shadows here, you look like a little bit dead, right? There's like not really much color going on in your face because of the cool tones. So adding some color back into here, it helps create a sort of a transition into the cool tones, the shadows. And then you can apply a little bit of blush to the tip of your nose. The type of brush you use to contour your nose is actually very important. The brush should be dense, small, and have a flat side like this. I'm gonna start from my brow bone. And then you can start blending it down a little bit. And then I'm gonna move on to the tip of the nose. Next, I'm taking my sponge and blending it in. And then I'm gonna take the Charlotte Tilbury finishing powder. This has a little bit of pigment to it, so I like to use it to clean up the sides of my nose contour. Finally, the most important step of nose contour is actually the highlighting part. Use a small precision brush to apply highlighter to the very tip of your nose. If you apply highlighter all over the tip of your nose, it's gonna make it look shiny, but it won't contour it. So what you need is you need to apply it using a very small brush. You can lightly diffuse it, just make sure that the very center of it is the brightest. And then sometimes I also like using it on the bridge of my nose. The 3 main types of eyeliners are brush tip, felt tip, and pencil. Brush tip is best used for sharp, precise lines, but it isn't as pigmented as felt tip. Felt tip is great for high pigment and thick lines, and pencil is the best for smooth lines. I would recommend beginners use brown pencil liner over black eyeliner. The reason being this is a lot easier to clean up if you make mistakes than black eyeliner. Here's a comparison between cleaning up black and brown eyeliner. If you make a mistake with black eyeliner, it'll smudge and smear, which will mess up your foundation. Brown pencil is just a lot easier to use and is very suitable for everyday makeup since it's just a little bit softer. So if you're not familiar with eyeliner, just create a very thin line here. For an everyday look, I also like to blend out my eyeliner with a brown eyeshadow, then take a very small brush. Doing this makes the liner look cleaner while covering up any mistakes. Do you see how easy it was to do winged liner? It's very intimidating when you think about it with black eyeliner or with just one product, but already with just the pencil and eyeshadow combined, you can see it creates a really nice shape. So at this point, you can use a liquid liner to make it sharper if you'd like. And then this next step is very important, and as a beginner you think it doesn't really make a difference, but it actually makes a huge difference, and that's lining your lash line. You can see how between my liner and my pupil there's a little gap. We need to fill that in. So for the lash line, I use a felt tip liquid liner. I recommend using a felt tip liner here because felt tip doesn't have tiny little hairs or brushes that can poke or maybe like irritate your eyes going back and forth. And then take your pencil liner and line the waterline. And then some people might not like winged liner for every day, or you might not like it for your eye shape. In that case, you could just do the regular diffused liner and then not create the sharp line. We're gonna do the under eye makeup now. I'm just adding some shadows to the lower lash line. And then using a brown eyeshadow, I'm going to emphasize the outer corner. And then let's do the little under eye fat look. Under eye makeup is popular in East Asia and uses contour and highlighter to imitate the look of smiling eyes. It's usually referred to as aegyo and emphasizes the area around your eyes, which gives a subtle eye-enlarging look. But a really common mistake people make when drawing their aegyo is they use the bottom of their eye socket as a guideline. This looks really unnatural because it's not where the shadows naturally fall when you smile. If I squint slightly, this is the entire under eye fat area. We can see where the area sticks out the most. That's the area where the under eye fat is the chunkiest. So when the light hits it, everything above it should be highlighted and everything underneath it should be a shadow. This is what the eggyosal looks like if we follow that guideline. But now let's go back to the outline. The most common mistake is people use the bottom of the entire section of eye fat as a guide, highlight and shadow in the bottom. It'll look like this. Of course, this is all based on personal preference, but I find this less flattering and I think it imitates eye bags rather than smiling eyes. I'll show you what they look like back to back so you can compare. Next, let's curl our lashes. Curling your lashes opens up your eyes since it makes your lashes point up. When you curl your lashes, it's not like you just clamp it and then you're done. Clamp once, release, and then sort of lifting it, curl the next section, again, release, and then curl the top section. This creates a natural C curl shape, and then this step is optional, but I like to curl my lower lashes as well. How you do this is you take the lash curler, hook it underneath your eye, and then move it up. And once it gets to the bottom of your lashes, and you can see that it'll lodge in between them, that's when you clamp down. A mistake I used to make is I used mascaras that wouldn't work for me, and I just thought like, oh, it's just supposed to coat my lashes. So my lashes would always look heavy, they would never hold a curl. So now what I do is I only use Asian mascaras, which are made to hold a curl for really straight, stubborn lashes. These are my two favorite Asian mascaras. Both are made to hold a curl, but the Clio Kill Lash Long Curling is lighter, while the Etude House Lash Perm Curl Fix is thicker and more volumizing. Pinching the lashes together helps separate them and remove clumps. My favorite lower lash mascara is the L'Oreal Telescopic Carbon Black Mascara. This mascara is heavy and really good at separating your lashes. We actually want the lower lash mascara to be heavy so it can weigh down the lashes and make them look longer. Now for eyebrows, I've actually struggled a lot with my eyebrows in the past. I had a dip brow phase, and then even when I started using brow pencils, I made the mistake of doing a line here, and then just trying to spoolie it through. If you do that, your brows are gonna look very unnatural. So what I do now is I use a very fine tipped brow pencil, and then just create hair-like strokes at the front. And then use the spoolie end to diffuse them slightly. I leave the middle of my brows alone. It's all about knowing where you actually need the pencil. So here I feel like my brows look pretty thick, so I'll just go to the tail end and then create the shape. Using the spoolie just diffuses everything so it doesn't look like there are any harsh lines. So you can see now, it just looks like a very natural brow shape. Finally, let's move on to lips. I'm just going to overline my cupid's bow. In the past, I made the mistake of overlining all of my lips. Personally, for me, I think it looks almost clownish when I do that. A lot of people have said that overlining makes them look like they have a mustache, and that's the issue, is you're overlining your entire top lip. You need to be selective with where you're overlining. And then I bring it back to my natural lip edge, swipe it up at the end. There are many types of lipstick formulas and each have their own benefits, so everyone has their own personal preference. I prefer soft matte liquid lipsticks since they blur your lips, but the con is they don't last very long. Not all nude lipsticks are gonna look good on you. There are some that are too warm toned, some that are too cool toned, and what you see that looks really good on somebody else might look very different on you. So you wanna choose something that matches your skin tone and undertones. I'll show you a few lip swatches of different nude lipsticks on my skin tone. So this is my perfect nude. It just looks like a good everyday lip color. Make sure to blend out the edges of your lips slightly. This helps with a soft, blurred lip look, and it helps mask any application mistakes or uneven lining. And that's it for this beginner everyday makeup look. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful. If you want me to go more in depth on any of the steps mentioned, like brows or blush, then let me know, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!
snuggle up to